feel like I'm going to step on some toes with this one. I have been seeing a lot of people say that if you are a reader who reads like really popular BookTok books, or if you're an author who gets pushed on BookTok, then you're A, not a real reader, and B, not a real author. And I have some thoughts about that. If you're reading a book just because it's popular or 100,000 other people read it, that doesn't make you not a reader. And just because someone is an author and you don't like their style of books, that doesn't make them not an author. Just because you don't like the style of books that's being popularized doesn't make someone less of a reader or less of an author. That just means that it's not your preference. And that's okay. First of all, if someone is reading a book, then they're a reader. If I've read a book, I'm a reader. If reading is my hobby, I'm a reader. It doesn't matter how many books you read. Reading 75 books in a year or 300 something books in a year, that is awesome. But if all someone can fit in their schedule is 1 to 10 books in a year, whatever they can do, then they are also a reader, and that is okay. And if all that they want to read are books that are pushed on TikTok because they don't really have the time to do research and find other books, that is also okay. That doesn't make someone less of a reader. That doesn't make their hobby any less than someone else's. And also, if someone is a published author and their books are getting popularized on TikTok, that does not make them less of an author. They are still an author. They are a published author. Whether you like their writing style or not, whether you think that their books are good or not, they are still an author. And I have seen a lot of people talking about how if you're only reading books that are pushed to you on TikTok, then you're not a real reader. You're not reading real literature. And then if you're an author who is being pushed on TikTok, you're a horrible author. Your plots suck. Everything's the same. It's all junk and blah, 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 blah. Okay. If people are reading the books that are pushed on TikTok and they like them, let them like them. What does it matter? And if someone only wants to read one certain genre, let them read that genre. If they like it, then that's okay. That's what they like. I saw the arguments, people saying, well, they're not reading classic literature. The art of reading is gone and blah, 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 blah. Someone decides that they want to read all romance books and they only want to stick to one genre, let them stick to that genre. What does it matter? If someone likes mystery thrillers, let them read that. And people in all of these videos that I was watching were saying, oh, it's just really sad because they're not reading the classics. Okay, well, recommend books that you like. Recommend them. People don't know what's out there if they're not recommended it. And if they are recommended a book and they don't like it, they don't want to read it, they don't have to. That doesn't make them less of a reader. They're just not reading what you want them to read. And then they were saying, oh, well, if you just stick to one genre, how do you ever know what you like? Well, if they're sticking to a genre, then they like that specific genre. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I understand, there are things I don't like in the book community. There are things that book styles I don't like, genres I don't like. I'm not really into like the whole tropes kind of thing. But that is my own personal preference. That doesn't make someone less of a reader if they only stick to one genre or one kind of trope or whatever. That doesn't matter to me. It doesn't affect my everyday life at all. But I just feel like it's a losing argument to come on here and say, oh, you're not a reader or you're not a real author because you're popularized or you're only reading things that, everyone else is reading. Okay, well, people are still reading. They're still readers. That's still their hobby. Just because they're reading something that is popularized and everyone's recommending and it's trending, that doesn't make someone less of a reader. That just means that they want to read what everyone else is reading, and that's okay. There is nothing wrong with that. So if you got started reading from BookTok and you didn't grow up reading, or maybe you did and you lost the joy of it and you found it again with books recommended to you from BookTok, then you enjoy that. There is nothing wrong with it. Do not let someone tell you that you are less of a reader because of it. That is just silly nonsense. It doesn't matter if you like to read whatever kind of genre. As long as you're reading and you enjoy it, then let that be that. And don't let someone tell you otherwise, because it's just crazy.